Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Mayhem live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is good old MF Michael Fletcher, alongside my partner in crime, Anthony Florio. We are awaiting Michael Bullock. We don't know if we're going to get him here tonight or not. If we do, great. If we don't, then, well, I guess we'll see him tomorrow night for Strictly Sports. But if it's just me and Florio, this is going to be a very quick show because it's always good when we do it because we fly by when it's just us two. So we're not going to waste too much time. We're just going to dive right in. AEW Dynamite to kick it off as always. And we started off tonight with the AEW World Champion Kenny Omega going one-on-one with Matt Sydal. Because if Matt Sydal wins this match, he will receive a future AEW World Title match. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 11 minutes and 35 seconds is the AEW World Champion Kenny Omega. Unfortunately for Matt Sydal, he will not get a shot at the title down the line. And this was a solid fight. Very good match to kick off the show. I'm going to give this a solid 3.5 stars. Sydal looked really good in great moments. He had a hope spot. He had a couple of hope spots in the match where it looked like Sydal was going to pull off the upset and win. And unfortunately for him, it didn't go the way that he thought of. And unfortunately for him, Kenny Omega once again rises to the occasion, proving why he is right now the best wrestler in the world today. Not only is he possibly gonna be he could end up being a triple champion. He's already the Triple A Mega Campeon, the Triple A World Heavyweight Champion. He's also the AEW World Champion and could become the Impact Wrestling / TNA World Heavyweight Champion if he beats Rich Swann coming up in, I think, about a month or so. There's supposed to be a big fight, a unification fight, title for title. Rich Swann. April 24th. Okay. I actually. Rebellion. 1 month from today. At least calendar-wise. Officially 1 month
pay-per-view
from today on to pay-per-view. Rebellion, as it will be Rich Swann, the Impact, the TNA World Heavyweight Champion versus AEW World Champion Kenny Omega. Title for title, winner takes all. So, nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
Well, I'll tell you, MF, you're absolutely right. I mean, great way to start it off. And, April 24th, a month from now, on a Saturday night, Impact Wrestling will present their Rebellion pay-per-view. You could watch it on pay-per-view, or you could watch it via Fight TV, which is how I'm going to do it when we get to that night. I'll be ready. I'll be all eyes of the wrestling world will be on that match when we get to it, and that has match of the year potential written all over it. It really does. Can't wait to see it. But for right now, 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. This was a hell of a match with Sydal hanging in there with Omega all the way to the very end. He was presented as a competitor on par with the world champion, and booking like that will only help to elevate his credibility moving forward. The outcome was the right one, and Sydal shined, but there is one complaint to be had: the countering of the one-winged angel. While Omega versus Impact World Champion Rich Swann is not a storyline closely observed on Dynamite, the centerpiece of that particular bout is Omega's finisher and the idea that no one can kick out of it. Why show Sydal so easily countering it, thus diminishing the idea that the move cannot be escaped or otherwise survived? It's a small potatoes argument for sure, but it would have been nice to see that move and the upcoming match with Swann at least mentioned on commentary. But other than those couple of nitpicks, great matchup. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. You could certainly make an argument for fight of the night here. No question about that, but we'll see. But for now, MF, 3.5 to 3 3/4. Let's move on to the next match.
Next up, we had was Adam Hangman Page versus Cesar Bononi. The Hangman wins the match in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. We don't really need to talk about this one. We could just dive right into something else. We did have a little bit of a promo, a pre-taped by Lance Archer. Then we had Tony Schiavone with his favorite person, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. We all know how they get along very well. Oh, yeah.
But the promo that she cut, MF, I just have to say this.
Sure, go ahead.
I mean, this is something that I really feel needs to be addressed here, for not just because of my love for her, but seriously, the work that she put in here. Baker cut the best promo of her career. Her spitting fire and facts, and she earned back her heat following last week's epic matchup with Thunder Rosa. 1 week after elevating her star via her in-ring work, she reminded everyone why she is one of the best talkers in AEW. A great segment and use of one of the most buzzworthy stars in all of wrestling following last week's broadcast. And she even took a shot at Tony Khan for signing, older talent like has-beens and whatnot. She even went after Tony Khan. That's how heated it was. So for me, it was hands down the segment of the night. So that's how you cut a promo, folks, especially a good heel one. Man or woman, I don't care. That was freaking awesome. MF, if you didn't see it, you go out of your way to see it, because she was, as you would say, spitting kittens, and she brought the tiki torches and the pitchforks on this one.
Well, segment of the night. No doubt about it. I mean, look, it was a great match. She needs the heat, and yeah, she got it. So no doubt about it. I don't think there's anything more that we needed to add here. I mean, yeah, segment of the night, no doubt about it. So we'll see what happens there. Then right after that, we do have a match. We do have a match, as it's the newly formed Pinnacle. That's right, the newly formed Pinnacle. As you know, that is MJF, FTR, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler, and Sean Spears. I guess the perfect 10 Sean Spears. They went up. Well, tonight it was only just 3 of the members of them. It was FTR and Sean Spears, and they went up against Griff Garrison, Brian Pillman Jr., and Dante Martin, and the Pinnacle wins the match in roughly 6 minutes and 10 seconds. So Anthony Florio, first, I guess you could say, the first official night for the Pinnacle, and they looked pretty impressive in 6-man action.
Absolutely. This was all about the presentation of the Pinnacle as a force, and it worked. The in-ring content was solid, but the post-match promo was fantastic. FTR was intense, MJF was great, and the tease for next week's show will keep fans watching in the early days of this faction. It kept the feud with the Inner Circle alive, despite Chris Jericho's group's absence, making it even more effective. About 2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star for the effort for the match. Fantastic post-match, and MF Bullock and I, we had a chat about this. I don't know if it was behind the scenes or if it was during one of our Raw or SmackDown chats, but Bullock and I we thought about this, and we think that we could see that come the next pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, Memorial Day weekend in 2 months on the 30th of May. We're thinking Pinnacle versus Inner Circle Stadium Stampede 2. What do you think about that?
Ooh, that'd be very interesting. It's possible. It's very possible. That would be pretty cool. A Stadium Stampede match. Obviously, they're not leaving Jacksonville anytime soon, so I can definitely see them do it right back in that stadium. That'd be pretty awesome to do a Stadium Stampede 2. I could see it. Inner Circle versus Pinnacle, that would be a hell of a fight, no doubt about it. So we'll see what happens. As far as the match goes, I'll give it 2.25 to 2.5. I thought it was all right. There wasn't really much to talk about. It's just a good way to get Pinnacle over, no doubt about that. So next up we had was Brendan Cutler and the Young Bucks, the AEW World Tag Team Champions, they went up against the Death Triangle, but this time, unfortunately, Pac was unable to fight. I do believe it was COVID concerns, or I think it was COVID-19 concerns on that one. But we had a major surprise. It was, you could say, this was a little bit of a Lucha Underground reuniting, if you say, or even AAA reuniting, because it was Penta, El Zero, Miedo, Rey Fenix, and the Laredo Kid. And when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 12 minutes and 25 seconds was Laredo Kid, Rey Fenix, and Pentagon Jr. As it was a Laredo Kid getting the pin on Brandon Cutler for the 1-2-3. But then after the match, Kenny Omega jumps Laredo Kid. Okay, all right. I know why that happened. I know exactly why that happened. Laredo Kid fought with Kenny Omega and had a damn near 5-star classic at a Triple Mania this year. Triple Mania went down, I want to say it was about back in December. And normally this would be about near the middle of the year, I think in May or June, and they had to push it back because of COVID concerns. So they pushed it to, I believe it was December, they pushed the fight. And these two guys tore the house down in Mexico City. They did it in the same arena that they do it every year, en la Ciudad de Mexico, the Mexican Coliseum. It was no crowd, unfortunately, no crowd this year, but the match was absolutely phenomenal. Laredo Kid literally pushed Kenny Omega to the brink, but Omega, with the One-Wing Angel, won the match, successfully defended the Mega Campeon. But after the match, Omega disrespected Laredo Kid by refusing to shake the hand on him, basically saying, "You're not worthy. I'm the greatest of all time. You're a Mexican pissant. Get out of my ring. I'm not giving you any respect." Now, Laredo Kid says something on AAA Sin Límite, which is their weekly television episode, saying, basically, Darren Omega, I want another shot at the Mega Campeon. You're scared coming down the border. So basically, stay in Florida, stay in the United States with your little AEW buddies, because you ain't a real champion. You're not, because you're nothing but a coward. You don't want to fight me and put the Mega Campeon on the line. This is the response for those comments that were made. And that's why Omega jumped them, for those comments. So, oh boy. Anthony, I think a AAA Mega Campeon title match might be heading to AEW. I think Laredo Kid and Omega might be on a collision course.
Man, I've never seen the Mexican wrestling. I mean, I'm not as much of a follower of it as you are, MF. I mean, this is why you have that 96, 97 JR knowledge that I love so much. I mean, because you know so much about, here in the States, here stateside and North America, Japan, Mexico, any independent promotions. That's why I always, that's where I came up with that term. But man, you know it all. But it was December 12th of 2020 that Triple Mania fight went down with Omega and the Laredo Kid. I mean, the video of it, I believe, is on either YouTube or Daily Motion. And it looked like it was about probably about a 30-minute or so match.
Yeah, go out of your way to watch that match. Like, it was awesome. It was amazing. Go out of your way to see that fight.
I certainly will. I certainly will. Once the smoke clears from WrestleMania, then I will most certainly, first chance I get, I will certainly give that a look. But what was the time of that fall, MF?
Okay, let me try to get back. Let's see. It was 12:25.
12:25. All right. I'm going to give this another 3.5 stars. I mean, the finish was perfect in that it spared both the Young Bucks and Lucha Bros the loss. Neither Nick and Matt nor Penna and Phoenix ate the fall. Cutler lost nothing in the way of momentum, and Laredo Kid earns a win in a cameo appearance. The action was solid, the pace quick, and the spots dynamic. Given the talent, it was as advertised. The Bucks shunning the increasingly belligerent and delusional Omega was much needed in the Lucha Bros, getting a measure of revenge. Made sense given both of their histories with the AEW World Champion. In all, this was a solid segment that advanced stories, built momentum for the masked competitors, and portrayed Omega as a competitor who may be spreading himself too thin with the number of foes he is making. So, not much more to say on that. Solid 3.5 stars for the effort, no question about it. So, definitely within that top fight of the night echelon there, no doubt. So with that, MF, let's continue on.
All right, and the next thing that we had was a women's match. It was Ty Conti going one-on-one with Nyla Rose, and the winner of the match in 9 minutes and 25 seconds, Ty Conti gets a humongous win over the former AEW Women's World Champion. And as a matter of fact, Anthony, Ty Conti is now ranked as the number 1 in the women's division. Hikaru Shida, you might want to watch yourself. The Brazilian might be coming for your belt very soon. So this is the biggest win of her career. And if you notice, she's not a member of the Dark Order, but Dark Order members did walk her out to ringside. Normally, when you see her on AEW Dark or AEW Evolution, you see -1 is hanging with Ty Conti. So you know that's a ringing endorsement. If the son of the Exalted One is with you, and now you got almost the full-fledged members of the Dark Order with Ty, I think because of the fact of her friendship with Anna Jay, and we all know Anna's sidelined with that separated shoulder, but now could Ty be the one that they might lean into to possibly bring the Dark Order the AEW Women's World Title? Because she's there. Her record right now, I believe, is now 10-2 in 2021. She has only lost 2 matches, and this is by far the biggest win of her career in AEW. She's now on a 4-fight win streak. Florio.
Wow. I'm gonna call this the sleeper fight of the night. I'm gonna give this a solid 3 stars. I mean, it was nowhere near as epic as the women's match we saw a week ago. Obviously, I don't know if any women's match in AEW is gonna even top what we saw a week ago. But in all seriousness, though, I think we need to pump the brakes on that possible Shida title fight. I'll explain in a moment. The match was solid, and like MF said, Tay Conti picked up the biggest win of her career, a victory over a former AEW Women's Champion. That is where the good in this ends. The Bunny inexplicably coming to the aid of Nyla Rose and the Hardy front office appearing was one thing. Hardy claiming the tournament was a sham because Bunny wasn't involved when Rose, who advanced to the finals, stood right there beside him, was a lack of continuity. This will probably lead to a tag team match of some sort with Nyla Rose and the Bunny against Hikaru Shida and Tay Conti. and talk of top contenders. But it is hard to imagine Conti or Bunny as challengers to the women's title when they've barely had screen time or picked up wins in major matches. But other than that little nitpick, solid match. The women's division continuing to improve. So not much more to say. Solid 3 stars. Sleeper fight of the night. I had zero low expectations going into this because Nyla Rose is not exactly the best, but hey, Conti carried her to a more than passable match. So credit to her for that. So solid 3 stars. Sleeper fight of the night. MF.
You know what? I'm a little annoyed right now. Just a little. I'm not overly annoyed because I get the knock, and yes, but you really gotta follow her really carefully. And yes, that's Evolution, that's AEW Dark because she has won Elevation. So I mean, that's where she's made her bread and butter right now. All those matches that she's had is been through those shows. But I've been watching Elevation. I've been watching AEW Dark. I'm getting more into AEW now because of the fact of, and I'm going to say it, thanks to YouTube. YouTube has been one of the main driving forces of me watching these shows. That's what got me into NWA Power when they did. Now it's on Fight TV. And they were saying that, oh, you get to watch it for free. Lie. You got to pay a subscription to watch NWA Power, which is ridiculous. I can't even believe it. But the thing is, you only got to pay $5 a month. All right, I think I can live with that. $5 a month? Come on. Floyo, I think you can live with $5 a month.
Certainly.
For something like that. For AEW Power, and trust me, go out of your way to watch AEW Power. It is old school, classic professional wrestling.
You mean NWA Power, right?
Yes.
You said AEW Power.
Well, I get so confused with the shows because I'm watching Power, I'm watching Dark, I'm watching Elevation, I'm getting into there's another NWA, well, it used to be NWA, but now I don't think I know they used to have it. It's called Wrestling from Hollywood. They got that type of show, which is a little bit of a conglomerate of NWA because I remember them put the national title on the line. And I remember one time on that Wrestling from Hollywood, Nick Aldis actually put the NWA World Heavyweight title on the line. That was a huge thing too, because not very often you see Sweet Charlotte on the line, and it was. The 10 pounds of gold was on the line. So, I mean, who knows how that's going to play out. But anyway, the thing is that if you really follow Tay Conti and what she's been doing, yeah, of course, the people that she's fought recently have not been big names. I get it. I know. But you just knocked off Nyla Rose, the second ever AEW Women's World Champion. I mean, how that elevates you. And with the body of work that she has done, that she has put forth, and if your premise for AEW to deserve a title shot is by the wins and the losses, 10 wins, 2 losses, how on earth does that not get you an AEW title match?
Beating Nyla Rose will definitely put you up there. Absolutely. I'm just talking about beforehand.
No, and I totally get that. But I'm just saying in a general statement.
Right.
Because that's the same thing. SCU, and this is one thing that hasn't been talked about, but they talked about it on Elevation. They talked about it on Dark. Right now, SCU is undefeated in AEW in 2021. They're 9-0. They're ranked number 1 in the tag team division. and they still haven't gotten their shots at the AEW World Tag Team titles.
That's mind-boggling.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I think it was Ray Phoenix and Pac are deserving, and they will get the next shot. But if you're talking about a team that's most deserving of a title match, you're looking at SCU, Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels. I mean, you want to talk about a team that's more deserving of a title match? I think AEW's logic is a little skewed. I'm sorry. You know, you talk about all that wins and losses matter in AEW, but why don't you act like it? Sorry for taking a shot, but I'm going to take that shot anyway. I don't give a damn. So next up we had was, this was the big one. The AEW TNT title on the line. Darby Allin versus the Meat Man, John Silver of the Dark Order, winner of the bout. 13 minutes, 45 seconds, and still the AEW TNT champion, Darby Allin. Oh, man, my heart breaks for John Silver. I really thought he was going to win the belt tonight. I don't know why. There was something about this that had me thinking maybe we were going to have history being made tonight, and unfortunately it wasn't. Don't get me wrong. I love Darby Allin. I think he's a great champion, but just there's something sentimental about the TNT title and the Dark Order. I think this would have been an absolute emotional moment if they would have pulled the trigger and given John Silver the belt. But there's a great champion in Darby Allin, and you don't want to stunt his growth right now because he is rising as we speak, and he's getting better and better by the week. Great main event, 4 stars. Well, 3.5 to 4. And Anthony, it's yours.
Time of the fall once again, MF?
13:45. Main event.
13:45. All right. You can make an argument for fight of the night here. 3 3/4 to 4 stars for a company that was under fire in recent weeks for its targeting of veterans like Christian Cage and Paul White. This was a stellar showcase of 2 of the brightest young stars AEW has to offer. It was energetic and featured some incredibly stiff strikes from both men. The drama was high, especially the Shakespearean variety. The action nonstop, and the result was a match that was every bit the enjoyable encounter fans hoped for out of the 2 popular entities. The post-match brawl involving the suddenly impatient HFO and the babyfaces was a nice touch and set up weeks' worth of television bouts and potentially a TNT championship match between Darby Allin and Matt Hardy for the next pay-per-view if AEW officials want to wait that long. A strong match and segment to close the show. So not much more to say. 3 3/4 to 4 stars. MF, I believe it's overall review on this.
And you lead off.
Very well. Very good show this evening. Just give me 1 second here. What number did I have? I'm going to give it between 8 and 8.25 out of 10. I mean, we had several good matches on this show. I mean, the main event, there was also the that 6-man with the Bucks and Cutler against the Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid, Omega and Seidel. I mean, I know that was awesome for UMF because we all know how much you love Matt Seidel going back to his Evan Bourne days. And I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, a return to form, if there ever was one, for AEW tonight. I was thoroughly entertained the whole way through with only minor exceptions. I don't know why we should care about the Young Bucks or the fact that their family comes to watch them. The match tonight was the epitome of what I call matches indie-rific. It had the feel of an indie match. It wasn't bad, but certainly not made for TV. Penary teaming with Ray might have been a little premature and without explanation, but other than that, I really enjoyed this show. We had an opener that probably should have gotten as much time as it did, yet was entertaining thoroughly. We got a surprise win from Tay Conti. We got Silver and Darby tearing the house down with the notable exception of the ending and the slight overbooking. We also got seeds for many programs in the future. And yes, the Matt Hardy situation. I mean, I never really liked the big money Matt character. You know me. You know how much I love the broken Matt Hardy. You obviously know that. And I kind of felt he was a little overexposed. I mean, but I do like who he is aligning himself with and the potential for them, namely the Bunny, as we desperately need more women in the spotlight. And Britt Baker, despite being on for all of 2 minutes, killed it with a promo that's already flipping social media on its ear and or on its head. With a solid build to next week, the promise of a Christian match against Frankie Kazarian, that could be fun. And the continued booking of Ray Phoenix, I'm sure 7 days from now will be just as fun. So 8 to 8.25 for me. MF, your thoughts?
No, like you said, I'm gonna say a solid 8. I think it's gonna be really good. It's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out. I don't think there's really anything to talk about here, so it's gonna be very interesting to watch. So let's just dive right in. Perfect timing. We've gone about half hour now. Now let's dive into NXT, and we started it off, guys, with a tag team match, a women's tag team match, as it was Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez versus Zoe Stark and the NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai. And when it was all said and done, Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai wins the match in 11 minutes and 43 seconds. Another solid opener. Just like there was a solid opening in AEW tonight, NXT started with a banger themselves. A 3.5-star fight, and Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota and Io Shirai, man, that match at TakeOver is gonna be lit, man. Io, this is the most dangerous individual that you're ever facing. Your title is in serious jeopardy in my mind. I would not be shocked if we see a new champion when that night comes around. I don't know. I believe they said they're going to fight on night 1. It's a 2-night event, and I believe they're fighting night 1. So, boy, that's going to be a heck of a fight on USA. No doubt about it. Anthony, it's yours.
MF, if I may, you're right. It's night 1. You are correct. It is night 1. It's the main event, man.
Oh, I did not get that. I did not get that memo.
Bullock sent it in our Wrestling Forum Messenger chat. You must have missed it.
I missed it. Yeah.
It was announced, and it is official. When Io Shirai and Raquel Gonzalez battle for the NXT Women's Championship, night 1 of TakeOver on the USA Network, it's going to be the main event. Main event, MF. How about it?
Ooh. Well deserved. Well deserved. That's what I say.
100% agree. So, just wanted to get that out of there. But other than that, 3.25 to 3.5 stars for me. When it came to the opening matches, I thought AEW's was just a little better, even though the women continue to shine on NXT. We all know the NXT women's division is hands down the best in the biz. But anyways, the primary highlights of this bout were Io Shirai and Dakota Kai going back and forth, and Zoe Stark showing off late. This is not a knock against Raquel Gonzalez, who got in her own moments throughout, but this match was built to give her a win, while others stood out in the midst of the action. It was a solid match that certainly did its job. Every week, Stark impresses more. She stands out amongst a loaded division, and she will do well in the spotlight if NXT loses more women to Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. Gonzalez looks like an unstoppable monster. She continues to impose her will on the division. Her dominance has to be leading to the NXT Women's Championship before long, even if she loses to Io Shirai in the main event of TakeOver Stand and Deliver Night 1. So 3.25, 3.5 stars. Not much more to say. MF, let's move on to our next match.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I just got some breaking news, Anthony, and this is not good.
Not another death, I hope.
It's actually an injury, and it actually has to reflect to AEW. Unfortunately, apparently John Silver has dislocated his shoulder.
Oh.
Yeah, this is coming, and now I'm quoting this. This is from Fightful.com. This is from Sean Ross Sapp. He is saying after the match, and this is coming from Darby Allin himself. Darby Allin says John Silver dislocated his shoulder. There's nothing else at this moment.
Wow.
So, unfortunately, John Silver might be on the mend.
Another Dark Order member.
Mm-hmm.
Along with Anna Jay.
Along with Anna Jay, yeah. So, we'll keep you posted on any news of that, but unfortunately, yeah, I just came across that. I want to give a shout out to one of my buddies on the Discord, a friend of mine on Discord. He was the one that found the report and just posted it just minutes ago. And oh boy, yikes. All right, so next up we have was Bronson Reed versus LA Knight. Bronson Reed wins the match in 8 minutes and 42 seconds. Florio, it's yours.
Bronson Reed went over?
That's what it says here. I mean,
well, okay. I am a little surprised. I thought they would have built LA Knight up a little more. But anyways, I'm going to give this about 2.5 to 2.75 for the effort. This was a solid match, though. I mean, it was solid, though occasionally clunky fight between two of the potential biggest rising stars in NXT. Knight dominated the action too much to get to a higher gear by the end, though the closing stretch showed the promise of both men in a rematch. It was certainly surprising that Knight lost in the end, but it is not uncommon for new stars to fall before they rise in NXT, especially after all his bravado. Knight should only be more interesting with a chip on his shoulder. So, it's only one loss, but he will bounce back, and that's not just a promise, MF. That's a fact of life. We all know that. So, and if you don't, well, then you're a dummy. Yeah. So, you know how much I love that stick. So
yes, I do.
And I know he doesn't really quite incorporate it here, but I am hopeful that if he ever gets called up to the main roster, that they'll let him run with that talk show segment again. And if they do, I hope he pranks the dummy button again. Oh, I will lose my mind if he does.
I don't think he's allowed to do that because I think that's property of Impact Wrestling. So I don't know.
You're right.
I don't know if he'll be. They'll probably have to use a new catchphrase then. That would be just as good as dummy. Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. So, but solid match. So I'll give it about 2.5 to 2.75 of a star. So not much more to say. MF. Bronson Reed going over. I'm kind of a little surprised by that.
In a way, I'm a little surprised as well, but I like it. I don't mind it. Reed's good. I like Bronson Reed. He's pretty good. So, good win for him. There's really nothing more to add there. So, next up we had right after that was Oney Lorcan versus Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross wins the match in 5 minutes and 58 seconds. A little hair under 6. It was a showcase fight. As you guys know, Oney Lorcan, his tag team partner Danny Burch, talking about separated shoulders, he separated his shoulder, and unfortunately, that led Mr. William Regal to strip Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch of the NXT Tag Team titles. The belts are vacated at the moment, and now you had to fight literally the man who possibly could become the next NXT World Champion, and Karrion Kross, as he has a date with Destiny with Finn Balor on night 2 of Stand and Deliver for the NXT World Title
Main event.
So yeah, picks up right where he left off. It was a solid fight. It's a 2.5 star for me. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, 2.5. This was the best Karrion Kross has looked against anyone to date. Oney Lorcan was allowed to work hard in a match he was obviously going to lose, and ultimately he got the Herald of Doomsday working the type of match he is best at, a pure physical brawl. Best wishes to Danny Burch on his recovery. For Lorcan, he deserves a chance to rebound quickly. It would be a shame for a talent of his caliber to get lost in the shuffle. He is a unique brawler with the energy to elevate other talent to the next level. Kross and Balor are slowly building their rivalry. As long as they do not go over the top, the story will ultimately be told in the ring at night 2 of TakeOver Stand and Deliver. The two have the talent to do something special together. So that's all there is to say here. Solid 2.5. Is this where we start to take shape for the card here, MF, for TakeOver? Because I know some announcements were made.
Not yet. We'll get there. We'll get there, but we're not there yet.
Okay.
The next thing that we did have, what's this? Well. If it isn't our esteemed NXT UK champion Walter in the building. He went up against Drake Maverick and crushed him in 23 seconds. But then Tommaso Ciampa showed up. And you know what? Why don't we do this? Not for the first time, but it's been a long time since we've seen the UK title put up in the USA. We're gonna get it at Stand and Deliver. Tommaso Ciampa versus Walter, and the United Kingdom title is on the line. Yeah, Florio, you said it. What a match. That's gonna be on night 1.
How about that, huh?
Florio, give me your thoughts on that one.
This was exactly what it needed to be, even if it was not a true highlight of the night. The NXT UK champion did not need to waste time putting over Maverick at all. He just squashed him using his power advantage fully. Tommaso Ciampa answered the call and the match is set. Walter versus Ciampa has a chance to outshine the entire 2-night card of TakeOver. The two have never fought before and have remained dominant for years. This is the kind of talent that can keep the NXT UK championship in the spotlight long term. And now Walter is now the longest running champion. He's approaching almost 2 calendar years as champion.
Yes.
Matter of fact, when we get to that TakeOver, it will be 2 calendar years as champion. He won at that NXT TakeOver New York in 2019, prior to WrestleMania 35, and he's held it ever since. And he surpassed Pete Dunne as the longest reigning title holder of that belt. So, will that run continue, or will they actually have the cojones to actually put that title on old man Ciampa? You know, we'll have to wait and see. So, but man, MF, I mean, that match coming up, that's an MF special, man. That's going to be a man hoss fight if there ever was one. And MF, it's well documented. We all know how much you love the be a man hoss fights, now don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And this one, is going to be just that. A be a man, hoss fight, smash mouth, physical. It's got 5-star potential, but not Flair Steamboat 5-star potential. It's got hardcore 5-star potential. So, not much more to say here. The fight's obviously a dud, worst fight of the night, but boy, MF, the payoff we got from that, worth it.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Like you said, the payoff is worth it. So, I mean, we'll have to wait and see how this goes. And yeah, this is going to be pretty exciting. I don't think there's really anything that we can say. I mean, there's really nothing for me to add here. So yeah, let's just move on right along here, folks. Next up on this fight card, I believe was the women's tag team. Let me see. Sorry, I stepped away for one moment just to check on something. It was the women's tag team title match, as it was Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart going up against Aaliyah and Mercedes Martinez, and the winners of the bout, in 3 minutes and 53 seconds, Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart successfully defend the titles. Look, it was all right. I mean, there wasn't really anything crazy, but it looks like the next challengers, it looks like will be Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, and that could be an interesting matchup. Is it possible the Way gets the titles at Stand and Deliver? We'll have to wait and see. Anthony, it's yours. I mean, that can definitely go either way.
Yes, certainly can. Did you have a time of the fall for that women's tag title match?
3:53.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
1.5 to 2. It is good to see NXT instantly doing more with the women's tag team championships than Raw or SmackDown have, but this was not at all that exciting a match. Mercedes Martinez is fantastic, but she barely got going before the champions took out the weak link, Aaliyah. This was a long-term positive, but a short-term skip. Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart need legitimate competition again soon. Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai were taken out of the running so quickly that the Black and Gold brand will need to build fresh competition in a hurry. It looks like they have done that. It looks like we're looking at Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell as being the next challengers. And, we'll have to wait and see. So 1.5 to 2 for this effort. So not much more to say here. MF, move on to whatever is next.
Fight card. Here we go.
Okay.
So, night 1 of Stand and Deliver for NXT. And it is as follows. It is Io Shirai versus Raquel Gonzalez, NXT Women's Title main event. Walter versus Tommaso Ciampa for the UK title. Grizzled Young Veterans, MSK, Le Dejo del Fantasma for the NXT World Tag Team titles. Triple threat. We also will have a number 1 contenders eliminator challenge, eliminator match to challenge the NXT North American Champion on night 2. On night 2, we have Johnny Gargano versus the winner of the eliminator match, Santos Escobar versus Jordan Devlin. Unification to determine the undisputed Cruiserweight Champion of the world, and the main event of the entire Stand and Deliver, Karrion Kross versus Finn Balor for the NXT World Title.
MF. No, I'm not giving that away.
Yeah.
you forgot something about the Cruiserweight Championship match. We have a stipulation for that now.
Go ahead.
We got to get into that match first. So we'll address the stipulation because I'm sure it's probably in your notes.
Okay, yeah, it is mentioned. It is mentioned.
Yep, never. Okay, so I'm not gonna beat around the bush on that. So all right. So yep. Proceed.
All right. So here we go. As it is Jordan Devlin versus Kushida 1-on-1, non-title match. Kushida won. No, it was Jordan Devlin that won the match at 9 minutes and 28 seconds. This is what you were talking about, because next up, Shawn Michaels came out and actually made the official announcement that, yeah, Anthony, I know you were going to try to go here, but we wanted it to wait. But on night 2, for that unification match, that it will be a ladder match. So, both belts will be suspended above the ring, and the first man to grab both the UK and Cruiserweight titles will be the undisputed champion. All right, Florio, it's yours as Jordan Devlin beat Kushida in 9 minutes and 28 seconds.
I would say 3 to 3.5. Another easy match of the night here with Devlin and Kushida. The two worked so well together. The ending felt cut. The ending cut them off halfway through something truly great. But for a TV match with little build, this first taste of greatness was electric. Adding a ladder match stipulation to Devlin versus Escobar may be a little unnecessary, given the two have never wrestled before. They had plenty of story to tell as it was. However, HBK's arrival indicated that WWE was conscious of the Shawn Michaels Razor Ramon comparison. So, but it is very exciting though, MF. A ladder match with both belts hanging above, it's definitely going to conjure up the memories of Shawn and Razor's 5-star from WrestleMania 10. So, so not much really more to say here. 3 to 3.5 for the match. But MF, Escobar and Devlin ladder match for the unified cruiserweight title. How about that?
Yeah, that's going to be incredible, man. That's going to be a hell of a fight. There's really nothing more to add. 3.5 stars for that, and leads into the main event of the evening, which was, well, a heated exchange between Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, mediated by Mr. William Regal. But William Regal also dropped the nuke on us on night 2 of Stand and Deliver, Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole, non-sanctioned. You already know the words non-sanctioned and what triggers in our heads.
Only the greatest match in SummerSlam history.
Good Lord, what on earth is about to happen? Cole and O'Reilly, non-sanctioned? That means WWE and NXT have wiped their hands clean on this. They are not responsible for what's about to happen, folks. This is gonna be bad. Florio, what the hell? Well, we knew something was gonna go down. You saw the footage yesterday.
Yep.
With them fighting at the gym and how that exploded. You knew it had to come to this. But oh God. Oh God.
Oh my. Oh boy.
Go. Yeah.
Shawn Michaels and Triple H, SummerSlam 2002, anyone? Which, well, MF and I, we have a small little debate here. MF considers that the greatest match in SummerSlam history, whereas I consider Bret Hart and the British Bulldog from 92 as the greatest match in SummerSlam history. But the Shawn and Hunter match was definitely the greatest, hardcore match, non-traditional wrestling match in SummerSlam history. When it comes to pure wrestling match, obviously it's Bret and the Bulldog, but that's a story for another day. But this was a great ending to the night in building hype for TakeOver. Adam Cole cut one of the best promos of his career, tearing down Kyle O'Reilly with Venom. Finally, it was fully clear why he had turned against Undisputed Era. O'Reilly could not keep up, but he certainly cut his best promo to date. This match will be the end of an era for NXT. The lightning of the moment, combined with both men's best work possible on the mic, sold that fact. This has been a long time coming. I only hope that it can live up to the legacy that is behind it. Shawn and Hunter from 02. So, every match on this card, as of right now, all have potential to be show stealers. They all really, really do. But MF, I think this match has the potential to really steal the show. Segment of the night, no doubts about it. MF, are you getting those memories just like I did about Shawn and Hunter and how much fun we had with that back in 02? Come on now.
This has the makings of being the fight of the year. Like, I'm really honest with you.
Definitely.
This could be not only the NXT fight of the year. This could be the fight of the year. This could be everything. Amen. Anything AEW could produce, anything that New Japan put out, and New Japan put some real good matches, especially at Wrestle Kingdom. There was at least 2 or 3 5-star classics on that event that could really challenge for Fight of the Year. If Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole non-sanctioned goes to the level that Shawn and Triple H went and even goes beyond that, oh my God, Fight of the Year. So yeah, I am salivating over the fact of what could happen there. So we'll see. That's going to be one hell of a fight and a great way to close the show. For me, 8 to 8.5 out of 10. There wasn't really anything bad. Everything was fine, structured, really well done. This could go either way about who won the night. So there's nothing for me to say. Anthony, quick thought.
Yeah. This was a great show as well. But I got to disagree a little about the rating because some of the matches really weren't that. I mean, there were some matches that really didn't stand out to me, honestly. It's a little lower. I'm gonna say more like 7.5, but it was still a good show. But the build, I mean, as usual, it was a good episode of NXT. There's nothing that you really need to make time to see, but it flowed smoothly, was entertaining, and helped push TakeOver, Stand and Deliver. I mean, the fight of the night, I mean, you can make an argument. I mean, the women's tag team match that started, the Kushida and Devlin match was good. All the other matches, were, okay at best. So, but MF, the big positive out of all this was the storyline progression and the TakeOver card really taking shape here tonight. And all I can say is with how this TakeOver is looking, 2-night event, first night on USA, second night on Peacock. All I can say is this has the potential to, without a doubt, be the best TakeOver of all time.
Oh yeah. Not only that, but also it could actually overshadow WrestleMania. Like, this could be the event of the weekend or the event of the entire WrestleMania week.
The biggest one in captivity.
Yeah. So I mean, this could destroy everything. And normally
absolutely.
NXT has always been better than WWE, but you
Always.
give them 2 nights and this fight card already. Oh my
Best one I've ever
god!
seen.
This one
Best
looks
ever.
like the greatest NXT fight. Just the card itself. Like, you're talking about maybe 10 out of 10s on both nights.
Absolutely.
If it's done correctly, though.
Of course.
But we'll see. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to add. We're going to close it here. Tomorrow night is Strictly Sports, as always, hosted by Anthony Floyo, 10:30 Eastern. We got a lot to talk about. We got some NFL action. Unfortunately, I'm not going to do the NBA trading deadline, even though it is tomorrow. We're going to push that to next week because we got a lot of NCAA coverage we need to talk about.
And unfortunately, we also have
2 timely.
deaths.
Yeah, so we're going to get into that as well. So we got some NFL news. Actually, we got a couple of big signings that went down today. A few days ago. Juju Smith-Schuster staying in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
T.Y. Hilton, Chris Carson, staying in Seattle, and just today, as a matter of fact, T.Y. Hilton re-signs with the Indianapolis Colts, and I actually got a bonus thing about the T.Y. Hilton thing. Thanks to our friends at Pat McAfee, another team actually offered him a lot of money. They didn't hit on who that team was, but Hilton decided that he loved Indy so much, he took a hometown discount and stayed home. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. And of course, in our main event, we're going to go wall to wall over the most craziest first weekend of the NCAA tournament we've ever seen, man. You want to talk about brackets busted? Oh my God.
Yours almost was.
Mine's almost got blown to bits. Yeah. So we'll get into that. There's really nothing more to add. 10:30 Eastern. So thank you, Anthony Florio. Thank you guys as always. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow night.